Hi everyone. So for my paper, I wanted to focus my topic on something that sort of related to my major of journalism. And something that has always interested me about the internet is people who run blogs. And I'm frequently updating blogs and looking at blogs, and I've written a few blogs of my own. So for my thesis question and statement, I wanted to ask whether or not professional and amateur blogging has become equally important in news reporting as mainstream media. And throughout my paper, I answered three questions, and those questions were: what makes an amateur blogger and professional blogger different? What is journalism, and how will blogging fit into the career of journalism? And then, can blogging be accepted into the professional journalism world? So to start, I wanted to differentiate amateur bloggers and professional bloggers. So through my research, I found through a book called The Future of Journalism by Vincent Mosco that amateur bloggers are different from professionals because they do not possess the same amount of training that a professional would go through, such as schooling and going through careers and different type of media jobs that will teach them the proper ways of journalism. Through this, they learn how to analyze data and gather information properly. This prevents a lot of false information and learning how to learn the process of crap detection and things of that matter. So amateurs tend to have a lot of mistakes on their blogs because they don't fact check or know how to gather proper information from correct sources. So a lot of times their blogs are not completely accurate. Um, Also, in another piece of writing titled Is Blogging Journalism? It's a journal article. It's by Paul Andrews, and he stated that amateurs tend to focus on one subject, which is actually true. If you do go around looking at amateur blogs, they are dedicated to a certain subject. Like a lot of people write about music or food or traveling, fashion, anything like that. Professionals tend to cover a vast amount of subjects, and that is because, one, that they're trained in how to gather all that information and investigate and find the right type of sources to find different information for different subjects. Also, blogs are typically run on a software when dealing with amateur bloggers. Professional bloggers know how to work with HTML and know how to perform a proper layout and work on the internet and work with their computer. Amateur bloggers tend to take the easy way and either find a sort of web-generated blog that has already been provided for them, or they just pop into software and they're good to go. Also, there is a difference between amateurs and professional bloggers when it comes to the time spent on the blog. Typically, amateurs will devote most of their time and energy to this blog if this is the only thing that they're doing. Professional bloggers, on the other hand, or professional journalists, have another career to focus on that they are receiving money for. So while they're out in the field working on that job, they cannot focus on their blog. For the second question, which was what is journalism and how will it fit into the career of journalism if blogging is considered professional journalism eventually. And to start off, I wanted to define journalism. And journalism is a simple way to deliver news to a large amount of people. And blogging actually does do this. If you really do think about it, the internet is such it's its own world, so you can honestly communicate with whoever you want. It also allows instant updates, which is why a lot of people do enjoy reading blogs for their news, updates, and other things. Um, and also the other good thing about amateur blogging is that they do not have to go through an editor or any higher person in their career in order for it to be published. That's why amateur blogging is usually really instant, because they can just upload it as soon as they finish it. Author David Norsford claims that print media companies should actually look out for blogging, and they should conform to the blogging world because he thinks that they might be getting run for their money a little bit because a lot of people are leaning towards the easy access to blogging and the instant value of blogging. Going on to my third question, or no, continuing with my second question, I also defined public communication, and author named Anne Flanagan said that public communication as any cost incurred in covering or carrying a news story or commentary or additional by any broadcasting station, newspaper, magazine, or other periodical publications is not a contribution unless the facility is owned or controlled by any political committee or candidate. So this would go against the argument of saying that blogging will be accepted in the professional journalism world because it does not go under the public communication definition. So now going on to the third question, which is, will it be accepted into the professional career? I came to the conclusion by gathering all my research that at this moment it will not be able to be accepted into the professional career. I do see a light at the end of the tunnel though. I think a lot of my information gathered talked a lot about traditional journalists and saying that, they're used to the print media, they're used to how the business has been run. So at this moment, it cannot be accepted into the world, but I think as the traditional journalists and traditional media workers begin to retire and move out of the industry, and the newer generation of journalists try to move in, I think that blogging will eventually be accepted into the professional career. I do not know when that will be, but maybe soon. But as of now, there's just too many traditionalists saying that amateur bloggers do not have the proper training and they cannot accept them into it, and it's just a completely different world of amateur and professional.